In the end of February, in Romaniv Orphanage of Zhytomyr region, children with disabilities had an extraordinary event. All boys celebrated their birthday. This celebration took place not because all of them were born on the same date. For most of the boys, it was the first ever birthday. Such attribute of the celebration as a birthday cake with candles is an ordinary thing for the most of us. The boys got to experience it first time ever. Born in unfortunate families, having mental retardation and physical disabilities, they are deprived of love, care, support, and guardianship of a family. Parents leave most of them in maternity homes, having no desire to carry a burden of a child with disabilities. Most of the time, children are unable to control their own emotions and behavior. They need meticulous care, but the personnel schedule doesn't provide a sufficient number of caregivers. First of all, we were struck by the deep, empty eyes, turned nowhere. They didn't reflect any emotions. Absence of smiles of the children, it was truly scaring. The boys couldn't develop their personalities at the orphanage because they didn't receive any education or training. Unfortunately, the state is able to provide them with only food and some clothes, but their needs in human dignity, love, and personal development remain unmet. In 2008, the workers of the charitable foundation Mission to Ukraine from Zhytomyr took patronage of the Romaniv Orphanage. At that time, most of the boys didn't have hygiene skills, didn't know how to play with toys, and had very few opportunities to communicate with healthy people. We knew that in Ukraine there were orphanages for children with special needs, and we searched for such an orphanage, as we knew they needed help. And we found it. We understood that we couldn't just come once, help financially, and leave. We understood that they are children, and they need childhood like all other children need. And we see great progress in their development, great results. And we understand that God loves them just as much as He loves us and healthy children. And they are worthy of more than our state can provide for them. We had no desire to go into that stench because we carried it back with ourselves. And often it was very difficult to breathe there. But God's love makes miracles. And no matter how the orphanage staff praises us and thanks us, all these thanks and praise we redirect to God. If it hadn't been for God, we would not have sought for this place. Moreover, perhaps we would have bypassed it, having accidentally gotten into it. We would have run away from it. 70–80% of children are never visited by their parents, never asked for. They longed for fellowship and love. They really leaned their heads to be touched. They strived for attention. Unfortunately, the number of the orphanage staff doesn't allow attention for every child. But praise God, at present they have Angela. In addition to our trips, she works with a small group of children, and we see the result of her work. During the recent 3 years, every Friday, a team of Mission to Ukraine staff and volunteers have been conducting developmental Bible lessons to the boys, and in summer, they did day camps. Both staff and volunteers of Mission to Ukraine became witnesses of a wonderful transformation of the orphanage boys. They have changed a lot. They have become more relaxed. They have begun to talk. Even those who wouldn't make a sound talk now. They know colors. They can count to 3 and to 5. The benefit of the lessons is great. Our children have become smarter. Our children meet any new person and greet them. It is a big advantage too. Our children have become more polite. Every day they ask, when shall we have lessons next? When will the team come? They ask for mission and for America. Our children are better. Better. Just look into their faces. I think their disability is no longer seen. One can tell they are healthy. We have been witnessing these changes in continuation of 2-3 years. Children are calmer, try to be not as aggressive as they used to be, and there are children who now can draw and write and play different games. As for the improvement of the material base, last year, in 2010 year alone, we received humanitarian aid from mission that estimates around 100,000 grivna via clothes, footwear, toys, and help with the construction of the summer sheltered areas. With their help, 2 years ago, we managed to build an outside sports grounds with artificial floor and put sports equipment for physical exercises. As for the staff, we look at how people work and we try to improve our work. Not only me, director, but also our staff who works with children. They have readjusted their work to work with children. It encourages us to learn, work on ourselves, and teach the staff. From Mission to Ukraine, we got an idea of making a class. Maybe not a class exactly, but a room where we could work with children. And now, we practically have a tradition. For 3 years, we've been having day camps on the grounds of our orphanage. We can involve practically all children. We create small groups and children have their own activities. It is interesting for them. At the same time, their health improves. If earlier, children stayed on the grounds and never left our territory, now in summer, a part of our children continually goes to overnight camps. For the first time in his life, 24-year-old Oleg saw the woods, river, and horses in summer camp where he went with some other children of the orphanage. I took him to the forest, to the river. I showed him horses. I thought he knew and experienced all these things before, because the orphanage itself is situated in the woods, and there is river, field, horses. He hadn't seen any of these. When he entered the water for the first time, knee depth, he thought he was sinking. He splattered the water over himself. He has never seen water. He didn't know what water was, nor how to enter it, nor how he can squat. And I'm not saying about swimming. He had so much joy. At his age of 24, he had begun to live, and he had begun to experience the beauty that little children learn soon after they are born, when mother takes them to the river and they learn it. And this young man was 24, and he experienced the river and saw a horse and could touch it, could see the woods and mushrooms and fir cones, these things. He was deprived of all these things because he had to stay in his facility in isolation, and he saw nothing of it. Amazing is the fact that, for the first time in the story of the orphanage, several children got adopted. And the most extraordinary adoption happened to little Peter, a 13-year-old boy with muscular dystrophy, who due to his physical disability got stuck among mentally retarded children, having a sound mind. His new loving family, the parents and 7 children, saturates his life with God's love. I love to go to church, I love to sing and listen about God. I would like to thank our friends and colleagues from MTU. I would like to thank all who are behind the mission, not only in Ukraine, but abroad, and wish them health, happiness. We ask churches for prayer support. Join this ministry, as with counsel of many, the undertaking will succeed. We need volunteers who would help us with our work, our camps, and we ask, join us.